Hey everybody, here's what's coming up tonight on Now. It's Yicky, it's about tickies, and they're nasty.
Yeah, we're actually trying a homemade repellent to verify whether it actually works.
We'll also introduce you to the youngest person in the history of the spelling bee. She's pretty cool.
This is News Center Now.
Happy Thursday, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Amanda Hill. Today, we are talking about something that might make your skin crawl, ticks, and my skin is already kind of itchy.
Not good.
Maine Centers for Disease Control confirms 2 people on the Mid-Coast have the Powassan virus, leaving many of us worried about what we could find in our yards, in a park, or out with the kids.
So Powassan is the tick-borne illness that's rare in Maine, including the latest 2 patients. Only 10 people in our state have contracted it within the last few decades.
What makes Powassan different from other tick viruses is that it cannot be treated with antibiotics like Lyme disease can. The body has to kill the disease on its own, according to the state epidemiologist.
Here are some symptoms of the Powassan virus: fever, headache, vomiting, and even seizures. But the real problem is the effect on the nervous system. According to the CDC, about half of Powassan survivors have permanent neurological symptoms, and you might not even show any symptoms until a month after infection, if you show symptoms at all.
People with severe Powassan virus may need to be hospitalized. So if you think you have it, check with your healthcare provider.
So with the seriousness of the virus, people obviously, what can I do to stop this thing and protect myself?
Right. We sent Chris Costa to find out what steps you can take to make sure you, your kids, and your pets do not get bit by a tick. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Lee and Amanda, there's a team of researchers at Maine Medical Center that specifically studies ticks. They've got a number of tips on their website, like keeping your lawn well kept. That's one way you could prevent ticks. My lawn is a bad example. Some of those areas over there, that grass, way too tall. It will breed and attract ticks. Another tip they say is clearing any leaves or brush or any invasive weeds from around your home. But there's another growing trend in tick prevention that's gaining ground in Maine.
At Orchard Farm in Gorham,
we have the typical lineup.
There's high demand for these birds.
Barred rocks, red sex lynx, buff orpingtons, black australorps.
Stephen Bibula,
black lace Wyandottes,
gets visitors from out of state asking for these chickens for tick prevention.
It's about 3 or 4 times the level we saw last year. And now with this Powassan in the news, there's a lot of fear.
He says all chickens help get rid of ticks.
In a small backyard, you can pretty much choose anything and be okay.
But others,
the elite forces,
can clear more ticks.
They'll range widely. They'll be very wary against predators. They won't really want to be your best buddies.
Like white leghorns, silver-spangled Hamburgs, or Egyptian Fayumi.
Well, who wants the chemicals around your house?
It's been one of the hottest selling items this whole spring.
Insecticides can be a good option for those who don't want eggs or to care for the animals.
They just give you a much better chance. No, the permethrin gives you a better chance at killing the ticks rather than just trying to repel them away.
The key ingredient, permethrin, is safe on lawns, for pets, and on clothing, keeping away ticks that carry Powassan.
Getting ahead of it isn't a bad idea.
Now, permethrin is not a chemical that you would want to put directly on your skin, according to the people I spoke with at Skillen's greenhouses. But again, it's safe for clothing, safe for your lawn, safe for your pets. There are some botanical oils that you can put directly on your skin. Obviously, many types of bug spray that will help repel those ticks. And obviously, if you're going outside and you think you're going to be in an area where ticks may be present, try to wear long sleeves. You can even tuck your pants into your socks, and you will prevent yourself, at least to a greater degree, from getting a bite from a tick. Lee and Amanda?
All right, Coco, go mow the lawn, will you, please? My goodness gracious, you can't have that on TV. All right, so there are many home remedies that are passing through social media. Hey, I know how to repel ticks, some more naturally than others. One talks about a vinegar and water mixture, saying that ticks don't like the smell of vinegar.
Right, so we wanted to verify whether that actually works. So we went to the Maine Medical Center Research Institute to speak with Chuck Lebelzik, a vector anthropologist, which, by the way, is a fancy way of saying that he studies ticks and mosquitoes that can carry disease.
To make this natural repellent, we start with the most basic ingredient, water. Then add in distilled white vinegar, 2 parts vinegar to 1 part water. Let's try this out.
So we will do a swabbing with the vinegar mixture on my arm.
Enter the deer tick.
And the tick seems to be making kind of a beeline for the vinegar.
While our vector anthropologist isn't quite ready to publish his findings, he says it's safe to say the vinegar theory is not as effective as proven repellents.
The vinegar itself is probably not harmful if you apply it, but I think the harm might come in thinking that you have an elevated sense of security from it, when in fact you might not.
We can verify the homemade vinegar recipe to repel ticks is false.
Has been proven effective. There is a natural remedy, lemon eucalyptus oil, but Lebelzik only recommends buying it from the store, not actually putting it together yourself because it is too easy to get the combinations wrong and make it less effective.
So we talk about ticks, obviously want to protect ourselves. We also have to think about our furry little friends, and preventing ticks, it costs money. There are a few options out there though. Dog collars around $50, while spot treatments ring up around $30 depending on the size of the animal, but there's also ingestible pills. They can be as expensive as $60.
So we asked some of you how you are preventing ticks. Jess says she uses natural oils like lavender and peppermint, and she says it's working well for her.
Rose and her family are pulling out all the stops, bug spray, the right clothes, keeps the yard clean, and she says they shower when they come inside.
Meanwhile, Joan says she uses the vinegar mixture. She says it seems to be okay. Our tick expert not necessarily on board with that.
Watch out. I don't trust it.
All right. The sun broke through today, but so did some storms, and they are moving through the state. This is a time lapse from our tower cameras. You like that, Keith?
We should do this more often. By the way, vinegar will repel people too, so there's that.
Right.
That's
right.
Might be most effective.
Company included.
Yeah. Yeah, we had some storms roll through, a really changeable day, and a lot of us now starting to clear out. The last of the storms moving over down east and northern Maine. This last line just pulling here out of northern Maine, but for the most part, we're done, and we're actually going to enjoy a nice late afternoon, early evening as the disturbance moves through. The clouds go with it. It's really nice and clear back here across southern and central Maine back into New Hampshire. So, as promised, I think today was the best day of the work week. Even though we did see some showers and thunderstorms, they were quick, and the rest of it was really nice. So tonight, we're mostly clear. An isolated shower in the mountains can't be ruled out, but I think most of us are quiet through the evening. First half of tomorrow is really nice. We will, though, see some convective activity by about noon, 1 o'clock, and watch all these showers try to start popping up at that point. Really popcorn stuff. Very, very difficult to predict exactly which towns will get a shower, which won't. As a percentage, I say about 20% of the state will see a few showers popping up. But guys, we'll be at Old Orchard Beach tomorrow. Hopefully we'll be dodging these showers, but I'll be prepared either way.
I'll be prepared to eat. Do you ever wonder, so potatoes, and they're famous in Maine, and certainly in the county it's huge, but how do they become Maine's famous fries?
Yeah, Katie Ortiz went to the county to find out.
So is that the perfect potato?
It's perfect potato. You're holding the perfect potato right in your hand here.
Yes. With summer underway, beach towns across the state are going to be selling a lot of French fries. And up north, potato farmers are busy planting seeds for the harvest this fall. You can see how the potato becomes a French fry tomorrow on Now. And by the way, this will be the first in a series of Friday segments by Katie Ortiz. You get it?
I get it.
Friday.
She is the connoisseur. of the fish fry. All right, we're going to enjoy some pier fries ourselves tomorrow because it is our first Now Hit the Road show. We will be broadcasting live from Town Square of this tourist hotspot. Come on by and see us. We'll be talking about the history of the town, how tourism is booming, and of course all the yummy food that you can snack on. We are live at 5. Amanda and I will be down there probably about 3:30.
Just to start eating.
I mean,
ahead of time.
It's prep work.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we have to do our jobs efficiently.
Of course. All right, coming up on Now, will wireless chargers finally be real? We'll have the latest on this emerging technology when we come back.
An update on a story we brought you yesterday. Governor LePage is considering commuting the sentences for 8 women in the Maine prison system. Starting with 17 male prisoners who were released early last week, the governor says he wants to commute some sentences to bolster the workforce in the light of employee shortages here in Maine's tourism industry.
The Maine Department of Corrections says they sent a new list of names to the governor's office yesterday. Governor LePage, the corrections commissioner, and lawyers will review the 8 women and their criminal record before deciding if they qualify for the new program. The corrections commissioner says the Department of Labor is working with the already released inmates to help place them in jobs, and that some local businesses have already called asking to hire former prisoners.
All right, you see kids and actually adults walking around with like their charging cords in their hands because what if they run out of power? That'd be the worst thing ever. Well, the industry of cell phone chargers is actually a $2 billion business, and it could be more than 15 times that over the next 20 years. Unless somebody comes up with a way to charge a cell phone without any cords or resting the device on a pad, because that kind of limits the use of it while it's charging.
Right.
That someone might be Meredith Perry. She's the founder of U-Beam. It uses technology that broadcasts a beam of high-frequency sound waves captured by a receiver that are lodged in a phone case and then reconfigured as electricity. Now, the advantage of U-Beam's approach is it allows you to charge your phone while you're still using it in your hand. Perry's company has more than $26 million in capital from investors who are invested in this technology working. No guess yet as to when this might be available to consumers, but a cord-free charging world could be closer than you think.
I'm one of those people who has a ton of chargers because I keep them everywhere that I may need them.
You wouldn't have to. Just saying.
So I'm gonna here, here, and here.
When you think Botox, you may think about wrinkle relief for the middle-aged.
Oh, well, think again. The 20-somethings that want that needle to smooth out their skin. Oh, it's coming up on Now.
Animated movie body shaming young women. According to the internet, lots of people think so. Red Shoes and the Seven Dwarfs is a parody of the classic Snow White story. A billboard for the film is on display at the Cannes Music Festival saying, "What if Snow White was no longer beautiful and the Seven Dwarfs not so short?" Now, on social media, people say the implication is that because the woman on the right isn't so slender, she's no longer beautiful.
Yeah, the outcry reached the movie's star, voice actress, 20-year-old Chloe Grace Moretz, and instead of backing her movie, she's backing the critics. She tweeted, "I'm just as appalled and angry as everybody else. This was not approved by me or my team." She says she did not know the movie was going to be marketed this way, and she signed on to the film because she thought it had a powerful, positive message for young girls.
Ever wish you could get Botox to smooth out those wrinkles? Turns out, as David Allen shows us, people much younger than you may think are turning to it to get rid of lines.
Hey Tessa, ready to do some Botox today?
The things we'll do to try and look young. Tessa Bivens isn't a 40-something mom looking to Botox injections to smooth out the lines. Tessa is a 25-year-old medical scribe who's decided to try Botox to be wrinkle-free now and to keep the wrinkles away in years to come.
And I had been reading up a little bit about a preventative Botox treatment.
Tessa says years in the sun have taken a toll on her skin.
All right, so I'm gonna here, here, and here.
Neil Ford is a registered nurse injector.
Nowadays with Botox, you can really customize it to the result the patient wants to.
Today, Tessa is getting 5 Botox injections to deal with the lines between her eyebrows. Botox is injected with very small needles.
A very good friend of mine has done it, and she's had amazing results.
In fact, more and more people Tessa's age are getting Botox injections these days. The American Society of Plastic Surgeons says the majority of Botox users are in their 40s and 50s. But in 2015, more than 1 million injections were performed on people in their 30s, millennials, and more than 100,000 people in their 20s also embraced Botox.
All right, serious face.
It's a trend Ford sees in her patients in Virginia Beach.
That I've seen their mothers, and now I'm starting to see their daughters. So tiny little needle.
Tessa says she didn't feel any peer pressure to get Botox and has no regrets about sharing her story. She says if this were simply about taking better selfies, she'd use a filter. For Tessa, this is about self-confidence.
It's just a personal thing, and I know that it's just a little insecurity of mine, but I think that after the Botox, I'll be a lot more confident.
Tessa says if she likes the results, she may get more Botox, some work on the lines on her forehead, realizing it's easier to prevent wrinkles than to repair them.
I've heard that the procedure has been very well tolerated and there's not a whole lot of side effects, so I thought that it was just better to jump on the train than be the last one.
Okay, lots of opinions on Facebook on this one. Botox is good for migraines. 20-somethings don't need Botox. It is good for certain things, though. Botox is botulism. Don't we try to avoid that? Some people say, yes, I would definitely do it. Others saying, absolutely, I would not do it. So
what's the harm in it? I mean, if you want to do it, it's your money. It's not really a big deal. I wouldn't do plastic surgery because you have to go under anesthesia and there's a risk to that.
There is harm sometimes though with injecting chemical into your...
So what you're doing is you're paralyzing a bit of muscle. So
Right.
occasionally
You could
that
do
goes to the
permanent
wrong
damage.
place.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's...
So I think what's the harm? There's a lot.
There's a lot
some
of
harm. Yeah.
But I mean, there's
out.
at least a potential risk for harm.
You're
Yes.
assuming your own risk, but yeah, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't do it in my 20s. I would be more likely, sunscreen is one of the best things you can do for your skin. And I also noticed it helps to carry a little extra weight in your face. I'm trying to beef that up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
good to know.
You heard we're cutting into weather, so it's
Is
up
that
to you.
happening?
You want to
She
keep
talking to me?
I didn't hear that either.
I didn't
She
hear
just
it.
said we're
She
eating
only
up
said
weather.
she only told Amanda. Okay.
Because I only matter, guys.
Running the show, Amanda. All right, high temperatures today. 70 in Portland, 73 in Lewiston. We felt like today would be the best day. It turned out to be, even though we did have some showers and thunderstorms, a few of which are still rumbling around through down east Maine and northern Maine as well. But for the most part, these have really diminished in the last hour, hour and a half. Just a few showers here out towards Acadia and just to the south there of Bangor. But a lot of us, now that we've seen these thunderstorms roll through, are going to be clear through the rest of tonight. So tonight is nice. Temperatures really slow to cool, such that we'll be probably around 60 degrees even as of midnight tonight. So if you want to get outside, take a walk, tonight would be a good night for that. Tomorrow morning's nice as well. A lot of sunshine to start the day, but we will pop up a lot of convective showers in the afternoon. These are some of the tougher things to forecast because this is very Floridian in nature. You know, if you go down to Florida, if you've lived there for any period of time, every day there's this convection that occurs and it's really random as to where it happens. That's what's going to happen tomorrow afternoon across the state of Maine. A lot of us will dodge the showers, but there will be a few of them around. And then Saturday, most of us stay dry, but there will be likely considerable cloud cover in it. Rain chances go like this. Decent chance tomorrow, lower chance for the weekend, and then it looks like a rain out from Monday into parts of Tuesday. Interesting stats, guys. I want you to pay attention to this. So May, 1 degree below average. That's it for the entire May because of that stretch of 93, 85, 77 apiece. However, the mental standpoint of this, I did a little research on how much sun did we see compared to last May. Notice that we had 14 cloudy days this year, only 7 last year. And so I think that was the difference, is days that were just totally cloudy, we almost did half the month that way. So
4
even though
out of 31 where it was sunny.
Right, but actually totally clear in Maine is 4 or 5 days a month typically. But anyways, decent weekend, some rain coming in on Monday.
I paid attention. You told me to.
You did.
Yeah.
So I did.
I just wanted to catch you guys.
All right. Thanks, Keith. We're wrapping you up now. Okay. This week, one of the greatest competitions takes over ESPN, the Scripps National Spelling Bee, and we've been keeping up with the competitors from Maine. We met Naomi Zarin from Maine a few days ago. She spelled both of her words correctly yesterday, but did not score well enough on the written part of the test to advance to the finals.
Meanwhile, Neil St. John from Bangor was eliminated on the word polygamous, which we have Googled. It turns out it's a noun. It means when a man has more than one wife, which is a form of polygamy, but it was polygamous that he misspelled. So congrats to both. Great job down in D.C. representing us extremely well. All right, there are almost 300 spellers competing in D.C. this week, and now there are just 40. The spotlight, though, will be on tonight's winner, of course. But earlier this week, all eyes were on little Edith Fuller from Oklahoma.
At just 6 years old, she is the youngest person to ever spell on the national stage. Reporter Karen Larson followed her to D.C.
Will you please give me the language of origin?
Edith Fuller has everyone on the edge of their seat.
Are there any alternate pronunciations?
As she slowly spells out her word.
T-A-P-A-S, tapas.
Correct. This 6-year-old girl more calm than spellers twice her age every time she stood at the microphone.
Nick Nasty.
And if you wonder how she could possibly spell words like that one,
I just remember them. I remember the spellings. I remember spelling them.
Scandium. 291 spellers competing for the Scripps National Spelling Bee Championship, a field narrowed to 40 by 2 rounds on stage and a written test.
The next youngest competitor to Edith is 2 years older, and most of them are 6 to 8 years older. Another thing to think about is 73 of these spellers have been on that stage before, giving them a tremendous edge in experience.
While Edith didn't score well enough on the written test to make the finals, she's already thinking about the next bee and teaching her 3 little brothers.
I want to start teaching them, and maybe William might want to go to the spelling bee too.
Tonight's grand prize is $40,000, but everyone who competed went home with some goodies.
How cute was she?
Yeah, so cute. All right, we're going to be right back with Brain Drops.
All right. Tonight's Brain Drops is trying to look into the future, which is there any summer coming at any point soon? So I feel like this is a hot topic at the moment, right? No pun intended.
Now that we're in June.
No
yes.
pun intended. Okay, so what I'm showing you is a looped image of the forecast model that goes out over 10 days. And what you're looking for here is the jet stream. The jet stream is what drives our weather. So in general, when the jet stream is to the south of us, like right here, we're going to be cooler than average, we're going to be cloudier than average, and that's where we've been. So if you watch this progression, here's the jet stream here, 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 and it's not until late in the period, which is around mid-June, that we start to change this pattern altogether. Rachel, if we can go to the next graphic here. And this is the temperature anomaly that goes with it. So you'll notice at the beginning of the frame, you'll see a lot of cools over Maine, all of New England. And again, wait for the very end of the frame, which is mid-June, to start to see that warmth building in the central plains that eventually will make its way into the northeast. So we need a wholesale pattern change here.
So right around the time of the summer solstice actually happening will be right about the time that it gets warm?
That's true. The beginning of summer, technically, meteorological summer started today, but it will be, what is it, the 21st?
It's like middle of
so
June,
that's
yeah.
right around then, maybe when it actually arrives.
Okay, only 3 more weeks, kids. Hang in there.
We'll get
Let's
there.
just keep going. Keep
I mean, it's not going to be terrible before that, but that's the warm signal.
News Center 5:30 starts right now.